Hello everyone, wherever you are in the world. This is Alyssa from Alyssa's World, and I'm back to share this DIY wolf hat. This was inspired by something I saw on Pinterest, but I put it together myself, and it's going to be used as a prop in an upcoming short film I'm working on. So get your sewing gear out and let's craft! To start out, I taped 2 pieces of printer paper together to start drawing out a pattern. Then I found a pattern online that I thought would work well, so I copied it down onto paper. I'll link the photo that I used in the description. Use your common sense to draw out something as big as a head would be. I used my husband's head as a reference. Once your hat is of the desired shape and size, go ahead and start cutting it out. I don't know why, but my cats just love laying on all the faux fur I bring home from projects. Now, because I didn't use someone else's pattern, I didn't know how much fabric I'd need, so I bought a yard of it, but I'd say you could get away with 3/4 of a yard. For the lining, I just used some leftover micro fleece from a project that I had already done, and it worked just fine. Pin 2 pieces of fabric down to the pattern and cut it out for both the lining and the fur. I cut a little larger than my pattern because I forgot to include a space for my seam allowance, but if you did that, then you can just cut along the edge of the pattern. Now this is really important when you're sewing hoods like this. Sew both your hood and your hood lining, number 1, always with right sides together, and number 2, only around the top curve and the back. Do not sew the edges that will be around your face and neck. Those will need to be open to make this hood functional. When sewing the lining to your hood, have both of your fabrics turned inside out and fold the faux fur out. Then pin the lining to the fold and sew over it. Careful not to sew anything poking out, and when you're done, flip it over and sew the other side. Time for the ears. Draw out your desired shape and size, keeping a seam allowance in mind. Cut it out, then use the pattern to cut 2 of your lining material and 2 of your faux fur material.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Quick pro tip, brush your faux fur after cutting it to get all those loose hairs out quicker and save you a headache. Line up your faux fur and lining together right sides together, pin them in place, and sew along the edges. Leave one side undone so you can turn the ear inside out later. Here I'm just cutting along the edges so it will fold out correctly. If you don't do this, you'll get an unnecessarily chunky seam, and we want to avoid that as much as possible. This is optional, but I cut out 2 triangular pieces of cardboard to go into the ears to keep them standing upright. This is just what I had on hand though, and you can use some other stiff fabric, so you'll have the option to wash it in a machine instead of hand wash like I'll have to do. Now that you've got your ears finished, you're almost done. Use the middle seam of the hood as a guide for how far apart you're going to place the ears. Pin them in place and give them a good hand sew. That's it, you're finished. Now put on your new hat and go take a walk on the wild side. I had a great time making this Wolfie hat, and I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe for some more videos to come. Bye guys!